Hello and welcome. We're back today in the shed. I guess we've just come back from our trip last weekend from up through Jimna, Kilkeven and Linville. Had a cracking time. I haven't probably brought you up to speed with all the stuff that I've done to the car before that trip. So we did the pantry and the new fridge slide for the 40 litre Waco. And I've installed the water pump and picked up a little bit of damage from last weekend. So I just thought I'd go through some of those things and let you see how I've continued to try and set this up for my tour on a budget. The other thing that is exciting is we finally made a name for the channel. So it's called Mud, Mods and Beers. I don't know what you think. Let me know in the comments if you like it or not. And we've got a logo and our first bit of merch, so some stickers. I don't know if you can see that or not. So pretty excited, pretty stoked about the channel. So yeah, here we go. Alright, I'll take you through some of the latest mods and what we've done. Just looking at the canopy, and we're all sort of half finished with all the electrics and whatnot. I've put the oven up here, but I've realized that it's too big. It's not going to work up there. So what I'm going to do is build something like this. So this is going to be a pantry stroke oven holder slide that'll go in here, and then in the middle there's a camp kitchen I've got my eye on, should still fit in there, and put the esky or the other fridge on top on a slide. So anyway, I've been to Bunnings and I've spent $75. I had some old drawer slides runners that I've had forever sitting in the shed, so I've got myself some timber, and we're going to build ourselves a pantry today. The other stuff I got was, there's one of the drawer runners right here, so this. So, and then I've got I got myself some timber screws, a bit of shot cord, and some little angles, and some spray paint. We'll knock this thing up. Alright, I'll be back soon. I've built this, obviously the travel buddies here. I have made this wide enough, so I'm hoping to upgrade to the marine travel buddy, which will be kind of exactly that width. But what I didn't think about was how I was going to fix it down, but I'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But the travel oven's in. I've put it on a switch with on the 12 volt system, so that it's all wired in. I have routed the cable back and up across the top of the canopy and down into the switchboard, and it's on a bit of a hook at the top, so when this comes out the cable doesn't get snagged. But basically what this will do, pull out, and yeah, I've just got some shot cord in here for everything pantry related. I've got a kettle in there. I bought a couple of these big canvas bags at the 4-wheel drive show recently. In this one I've got glasses, bowls, plates, all eating stuff. This top one here I've got saucepans, what else have we got in there? Fry pans, some washing up stuff. And I've got a little one up in here, and that's all cutlery in it, and some paper towel and cups and whatnot. So overall I'm pretty happy with that, and I've cleared this bottom toolbox out. I know it's not 100% waterproof, but it's pretty good. And in there I'm using that as another pantry for stuff like chips and water and whatnot that's not going to be affected too much by a bit of damp. We went through all that country last week, all those river crossings and all of that, and it stayed pretty dry. There was a little bit of damp in it, there was no dust. A little bit of water must have crept in somehow, but nothing I'm not too worried about. So that's the pantry. As you can see, the cable's coming up through here. I've run it through an eyelet at the top, and it's just coming back across that channel and down into the power. So that goes in and out quite easily. I've got the table set up in the back so I can pull it in and out when I need to. And then the other thing I did was, again from Bunnings, so this was it was in the middle in the wooden section. I'm thinking it was red oak, I think it's called. I think it was $39 for this bit of timber. Again, I had the slides. I had 2 sets of these slides. So I've just put that on there with the thinking of this will come all the way out and I can get into the fridge if needed. A couple of beers in there still. And when I don't need it all the way out, I can just have it here and I can prepare stuff from the fridge or from the pantry here. It's not ideal. I do want to redo this. I think I want to have the fridge sitting here because it goes too far into the back of the canopy and I can't really get drawers or anything in the back there either. So I think I want to redo that. But in the meantime, this is working pretty good. It worked really well the last 2 or 3 days we were away. We ended up just using this as like a lunchtime. We pulled it all the way out, and when we pulled over for lunch, pulled the pantry and we just stood around this and had our sambaos or whatever we were having for lunch. So that was good. So that's update on the canopy. Let's have a look underneath and see what else was happening. So I ended up fitting the water pump up in here. I've got, that's the water tank right there. So I've got 2 of the hoses. One's the output from the bottom of the tank, and the other one's going over to a tap I have inside of the guard on the other wheel. I'll show you what that's for in a minute, but basically what I've done, I've mounted the pump up in here and into that channel, and I've put a T-section on it here, so I'm running 2 taps. It was pretty easy to mount. I just got some of those channel nuts, nut certs, or not nut certs, just the normal channel nuts like I've done in the canopy, and I've just screwed it up in there, so still haven't drilled really anything into the canopy. I'll bring you around to the back. So I'll put a tap here and then round the other side from that other part of the T-junction. I've put another tap up in here. Now the reason for that one is, in the future what I want to do is mount a shower tent, hopefully on the roof rack here, or maybe inside the canopy here. I'm not so fussed on that because I don't know if I want to get water inside the canopy, but nonetheless, hopefully I have a hot water system in here and the shower tent coming out, and then the hose can just hook up onto that. If it's at the front there, I think that'll be better. Anyway, that's kind of what we're after for that. And this is why we're here. Here's the back of the canopy on this side. So you see the fridge is kind of sticking out a little bit too far, and so is the pantry for that matter. I'd like both of them to be kind of where the fridge stops. I'd like the pantry and that fridge to stop. So I think I'm going to have to redo both of them, but in the meantime it's working well. It's working well. So last week when we were away, I ran over a big log which was in the grass that I didn't even see, and it came up and it smacked into here really hard, and it must have bounced off there, and you can see where it's smacked into there, and it's hit this bloody hard. It's actually ended up pushing the canopy. You can see where it's moved the canopy, it's pushed it in a bit. It still seals properly, there's no damage to the inside, or like there's no dust or anything inside it, but wow, it was an almighty bang. I didn't know what it was. Did not know what it was. Stopped the car, jumped out, and couldn't see anything. I thought, wow, well, it must have hit the side step or something, but no. All that from a big log. So be careful. Driving through grass, you don't know what's underneath it. Alright, so that's us pretty much up to date with all the mods that have happened so far. Next thing I want to do is replace that water fill on the other side, make it a bit better, and get the hose so it doesn't leak so much, and fix the breather up so it's not just chucking the water out as soon as I put it in, because I think I'm losing lots of litres. But it's just because there's 3 inlets, and I only have an outlet for the water to the pump and the inlet from the tap. There's a third one there which is a breather, but it's just a big open gap at the minute, so I need to try and tighten that up a bit so it doesn't leak as much water. The other thing I thought I'd tell you about was this. Okay, this is, what's it called? Turtle Wax Scratch Repair and Renew. So from our trip last week, we came back and there was just bush pinstripes everywhere. I was
Wasn't happy. I had this in the garage. My wife's car got a little scratch on it one day in the car park, and I bought this to try and get it out, and it didn't really do any good. But I thought I've got to try something in this car, and I got this out. I have an old super cheap orbital polisher there, which it's not, what was it, 30 bucks? So I put it on the orbital sander, this stuff, give it 2 or 3 goes, and it actually took nearly all of the pinstriping away. Really can't see it much anymore. It's gone. It's back to brand new again, which is so good. So if you're, I'd love to get the bush wraps, bush skins, whatever it is, like the clear wrap to go over the side of it that will protect it. It's $1,500. I'm not getting it just yet, maybe one day, but in the meantime, this fixes up a lot of problems. Okay, we're done. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you soon. And don't forget, please, like and subscribe would be amazing. Alright, speak soon.